He is one of the most powerful and controversial leaders of the modern era. From a young boy in Leningrad to a KGB officer, and eventually the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin's journey to power is a story of ambition, strategy, and political dominance. But how did he get here? What shaped his leadership style? And what role did his education and early career play in his rise? In today's video, we dive deep into the life and political journey of Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin was born on October 7, 1952, in Leningrad, now known as Saint Petersburg. His parents, Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin and Maria Ivanovna Putina, were survivors of World War II, a conflict that had left the Soviet Union devastated. Putin's early life was marked by hardship. He grew up in a communal apartment shared by multiple families, a common reality in post-war Soviet Russia. Resources were scarce and life was tough, but young Vladimir developed a reputation for being independent, determined, and sometimes even aggressive. As a child, Putin was deeply interested in martial arts. He practiced judo and sambo, which taught him discipline and strategy, skills that would later define his political career. In school, he was an average student, but he excelled in history and languages, particularly German, which he later used during his KGB career. In 1970, Putin enrolled at Leningrad State University, one of the most prestigious institutions in the Soviet Union. He studied law, a subject that gave him deep insight into the legal and political framework of the USSR. While at university, he joined the Communist Party and was also recruited by the KGB, the Soviet intelligence agency. After graduating in 1975, Putin officially joined the KGB and was assigned to counterintelligence in Leningrad. But his most significant mission came in the 1980s, when he was stationed in Dresden, East Germany, during the Cold War. While in Germany, Putin worked undercover, gathering intelligence on NATO and the West. He operated under deep secrecy, monitoring political activities and potential threats to the Soviet Union. However, his time in the KGB ended abruptly with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the collapse of the Soviet Union soon after. With his experience in law and intelligence, Putin quickly found opportunities in the new Russian Federation. He returned to St. Petersburg and became an advisor to the city's mayor, Anatoly Sobchak, a key political figure in the post-Soviet transition. Putin played a crucial role in economic reforms and foreign relations in St. Petersburg, gaining a reputation for efficiency and loyalty. His work caught the attention of politicians in Moscow, and in 1996, he moved to the capital to work in the presidential administration. His rise in Moscow was swift. By 1998, he was appointed as the director of the Federal Security Service, FSB, the successor to the KGB. This role gave him control over Russia's intelligence operations and access to vital political and military information. In August 1999, Russian President Boris Yeltsin surprised the world by appointing Vladimir Putin as prime minister. Many saw this as an unexpected choice. Putin was not well known to the public, but behind the scenes, he was gaining influence among the country's political elite. Then, on December 31st, 1999, Boris Yeltsin made a shocking announcement. He was resigning as president, and Vladimir Putin would take over as acting president. Just like that, Putin was now the most powerful man in the country. In March 2000, Russia held presidential elections, and Vladimir Putin secured a landslide victory with over 50% of the vote. His first term as president focused on three major objectives: stabilizing the economy, strengthening national security, and consolidating his power. Economically, Putin implemented policies that increased government control over key industries, particularly oil and gas. Under his leadership, Russia's economy began to recover, fueled by rising oil prices and state-driven reforms. Unemployment dropped and living standards improved for many Russians. But at the same time, Putin moved to eliminate opposition. He cracked down on oligarchs, Russia's wealthy business elites, who had gained enormous power during the chaotic 1990s. Some, like Mikhail Khodorkovsky, were arrested while others fled the country. This sent a clear message. In Putin's Russia, the state comes first. One of Putin's biggest challenges was the Second Chechen War. After a series of terrorist attacks in Russia, Putin launched a full-scale military operation against Chechen separatists. His strong stance on security won him public support, and by 2003, Russian forces had regained control over Chechnya. This cemented his image as a strong, decisive leader. Vladimir Putin's leadership has defined modern Russia. To some, he's a strong leader who restored national pride and stability. To others, he's an authoritarian who silenced opposition and tightened his grip on power. With constitutional changes allowing him to stay in power until 2036, the question remains, how long will he rule? And when he steps down, what will his legacy be? What do you think about Putin's leadership? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives.